So the topic of my presentation is understanding Husserl's phenomenology. So that is to mean that I concentrate on Husserl phenomenology. Uh, and as we know, he is a pioneer of phenomenology. So just So before I introduce phenomenology and Husserlian phenomenology, let me talk something about philosophy. Because without knowing the philosophy as a discipline or philosophy as a fundamental inquiry, it is difficult for us to understand phenomenology. So let us try to understand what philosophy is. Philosophy is generally considered as a conceptual in nature. And this is a second order inquiry. Now, what do you mean by when we say that this is a second order inquiry? That it deals with the concepts, not the facts. Now, we generally in philosophy make a difference between the fact and the concepts and try to see their relationships. So all the social sciences and natural sciences deals with the facts. What is? And while philosophy deals with the why this is. So this differentiation of what and why is very important, especially in human sphere or a human knowledge. So another which is very important thing that facts without concepts we cannot understand. For understanding of any facts or factual knowledge or empirical knowledge, we use a concept. For example, let us take this example that today is sunny day, or we may say that cloudy day. So when we are making this claim that today is a sunny day, now we use so many concepts in this very statement. For example, sunny, sun, cloudy, day. So philosophy try to inquire about these concepts. What do you mean by cloudy? What do you mean by day? What do you mean by today? So philosophy is basically deals with the concept, not the fact. So that is to mean philosophy is dealing with the concept that is a preconditions of the fact. Fact, whatever fact we are sensing, we are experiencing, it is a given in a particular context whereby we presupposes so many things. For example, take this example that today is a cloudy day. So it presupposes so many things, and our mind function in such a way that it never focus on these so many fundamental things. For example, time, space, situation, context. So this we assume we are just reflecting on this cloudy day. Just we are sensing cloudy day. But it's in order to occur this cloudy day, we have so many things, like as I say, that space, time, and all such things. Yourself. Without this, that day is not possible. So even Husserl says that without consciousness, without your awareness, this world is blind. We are conscious, that's why we are seeing, we are witnessing, we are experiencing this world. So philosophy, what philosophy is? As a fundamental inquiry or foundational inquiry, philosophy as a discipline try to investigate and critically examine the basic assumption, presuppositions, and postulation of all natural and social sciences. That is why philosophy is considered as a mother of all subjects. So philosophy, why philosophy is so abstract, so fundamental? Because it investigates the very fundamental assumptions, which we generally ignore. We never care for that. So because when I say that today is a cloudy, we are never caring about what kind of space this is, what is time, all such things. So we generally never care about these fundamental concepts. And philosophy what philosophy do? He try to investigate and critically examine these assumptions. For example, let us take some example so that we understand very easily. For instance, let us talk about the history. History, what is history? History is the study of past, generally we define. But philosopher, through the eyes of philosopher, through the way of philosopher, history is philosophy of past. History is what? Study of past through the lenses of present. So what philosophy try to investigate that this presupposition of time, notion of time. Because when we say past, what is the time? What do you mean by time? It is a linear, like past, present, future, or we are going in past and future. Like for example, in imagination, we are going in future, or then when we remembering, we are going in past. So this very idea of time, or when we are seeing anything, for example, we use so many mathematical things like number. So what is number? Where it is? So this is the abstract thing or forms. We never see number through the senses, but we understand. So these things, for example, we never see the space. We see only the things in the space. We never even imagine a space as such. We always, whenever we imagine a space, we involve think. So this is very interesting. You just thought it. You just do thought experiment. Can you imagine any space without a thing? Not possible. If suppose even in dream you cannot space without thing, but can we say that if we are not experiencing a space without thing, so space never exists? No, space is there, but whenever we experience, we are experience only the things. Space as such we are not experiencing. So these are things, for example, space, time, number, self. These are the presuppositions. Without that, we are not able to understand the social sciences or natural sciences. So why I am saying that? Because Husserl phenomenology is trying to understand the precondition of knowledge. So any discipline, for example, natural science, sciences, sociology, as they all are giving a knowledge, but it presupposes so many things. So philosophy, what philosophy is doing? Philosophy is trying to investigate these presuppositions. That's why we have a philosophy of everything. For example, philosophy of mathematics, philosophy of social sciences, philosophy of art, anything. That's why we are given a highest degree as a philosophy degree. PhD philosophy, doctor of philosophy. Why? Because you are trying to research on fundamental things. So what in fact we are doing here as a philosopher, we are only trying to understand the history of philosophy, how thought developed, how we think, how we conceptualize, how we philosophize. That's why philosophy is mother of all subjects. Philosophy is very fundamental. So now you understand that why this becomes so abstract, because we never direct encounter with philosophical things. As I give an example of self, where is the self? Time, where is the time? So that is why perhaps we are feeling a little difficulty. But when we keep in these all things in our mind as a preconditions, for example, just as I have given so many examples like number, yourself, then time, space, these things, these are the metaphysical concepts. So when we are keeping in this mind that these are the things which constitute knowledge, so then we have a pure knowledge or knowledge in its very fundamental form. Okay. So now in this lecture, what we are going to do, we try to understand Husserl phenomenological project, to understand the notion of phenomenology or phenomenological attitude. What is phenomenological attitude? And also we are going to understand that what is the method of phenomenology. Okay, so let us first see who is this Husserl or philosopher. basically, it is very interesting to know that Husserl is basically a mathematician and psychologist also, and philosopher. And he worked on mathematics in the sense that his thesis on arithmetic, status of number where number is, whether these numbers, for example 1 2 3 4 5 6, these numbers where, because we are not experiencing number, so where it is whether it is outside or in our mind, psyche, what is the status. And interestingly, mathematics is a pure science. So without mathematics, we cannot do anything, because first thing is to conceptualize is a mathematics. Without these, you cannot do anything. So he is a mathematician, and his project is to understand the pure knowledge, or as mathematician is doing that, knowing a pure form, because in mathematical knowledge there is no any variation. 2 plus 2 is 4, everyone knows. So in that sense, he is trying to understand the human word in a just like a mathematics. So his training is in mathematics, so he is trying to develop a pure knowledge kind of thing, pure cognition kind of things. So he has written these books, as you see in your slide, that Logical Investigation, Ideas, Cartesian Meditation, Crisis of European Science. Now, come to this idea of phenomenology. What is phenomenology? Why we give so much credit to Husserl? Because phenomenology as a word, or phenomena as a concept, is already in currency before Husserl. For example, Kant is a great philosopher, German philosopher. Hegel is again talk about this phenomenology. He has written a phenomenology of Geist, or spirit, or phenomenology of mind. Fichte is also a use. But why Husserl is important? Because you see, the time of Husserl is where is so much development on what we call science or Renaissance. You see whole, 18th century, 17th century, 19th century, and Husserl comes in a beginning of 20th century. So what we find that at that time, so much emphasis on the science. Now as a philosopher, Husserl thinks that we are giving so much importance to facticity or facts. Everyone was very fascinated by facts. Okay, empirical kind of study, as we do research in using quantitative method, or quantifying the things, observing, taking a data, quantitative data. So Husserl says that, okay, that's all right. So somehow philosophy went to black seat. Philosophy, is irrelevant, because so much emphasis on what is, experience, or what is facticity. No one is thinking about these, fundamental things, or what we say that preconditions. So Husserl tried to revisit and develop his phenomenology as a method, or as an approach to philosophizing. And he says, interestingly, that we have to discover our primordial data when we are experienced, because this is very interesting thing, that all knowledge begins with consciousness or awareness, whether it is the natural sciences or social sciences, humanity. When first very fundamental thing is consciousness. Without that, no knowledge is possible. So he says that we have to understand the structure of experience, or a structure of consciousness. What is given to us? What is the primary data? As I say that, when we experiencing anything, what is given to us? What the object is? For example, I will give you later examples, so many examples, so that we can easily understand. So phenomenology is what? It is basically primarily a study of structure of consciousness, or we can say that structure of experiences, or what is going on in consciousness, what is going on inside your consciousness when you are experiencing something. Okay. So why phenomenology is important? Because as I already explained that many traditional things, many traditional theories, for example, we see in epistemology that knowledge involves subject and object, especially in epistemology. We say that how knowledge is possible? You have to have a subject who is knower and the object which we are going to investigate or knowing, and a kind of division is there. And a lot of emphasis as we see in after modern period, Renaissance, especially Kant, till Kant, Immanuel Kant, or 17th century, a lot of emphasis on objectivity, that knowledge is independent of the subject kind of thing. We should be very objective. And in natural sciences, this is going on that we should be very object and bracket all our things, subjectivity and all such things. So Husserl says that since consciousness is a very fundamental principle, then how can we make this kind of division or binaries, that subject is totally suspended? And because if subject is not there is no any subject, then how knowledge arises? Because consciousness is if consciousness is a fundamental, if knower is a fundamental, then how knowledge is possible? So he in fact break this theoretical concerns or this traditional assumption. And another important thing, he influenced so many school of philosophy or sociology. We can say that, for example, existentialism, hermeneutics. You have heard about the Sartre, Gadamer, Heidegger. These are the existential philosopher. Gadamer is a hermeneutics who is he propounded this hermeneutic school. So so much influence on literature, social sciences, and this very school, existentialism, what we say, existentialism. Third important thing is that it emerged when philosophy was in a crisis. Why? Because so many emphasis on this very objectivity. And it again, re-established the German idealism. German idealism means here Kant, Hegel, or so this even Freud. So all this idealism, he has given a new life to German idealism, because so much emphasis on this realism that no one is talking about the idealism. And he, in fact, by diffusing these binaries, re-establish the idealism, or especially transcendental idealism, what we say. Now, let us talk more about the phenomenology. What, in fact, we are going to do in phenomenology. Phenomenology, you see the main phenomena and logy. These two words. Phenomena is what appear to us, what is given to us, what is given to consciousness, what is given to experience. For example, take any example. You are experiencing some event or some happening. Is in sociology, suppose you are going to collect a data, you are experiencing, you suppose you went to some area, slum area, or you are seeing the market. So what is given to your senses, what is given in your experiences, that is a phenomena. Fact is what? If we say that fact is very objective, it is independent. That is the supposition or assumption of realists, that it is independent. But Husserl is saying that without subject, how it takes a life. Facts are dead. Without consciousness, if suppose facts are there, because before Husserl, Kant says that make a division between noumena and phenomena. Noumena is which is not knowable. There is something, but it never become a part of our consciousness or our awareness. It is there. This is the division, but Husserl never accept this kind of division, and he says that whatever knowledge, whatever experience we have, it is a phenomenon. And scientific inquiry, very fundamental inquiry, as logy means science, or logy is logic. So very science of phenomena is a phenomenology. So when things are as they are given to consciousness, different modes of consciousness, for example, perception, imperception, imagination, thought, violation. Suppose sometimes we wish, sometimes we desire, sometimes we remember. So these remember of something. This offness is very important. So Husserl is basically influenced, and he was also a disciple or a student of one psychologist named Brentano, and he make a, as we do generally in psychology, this mental phenomena and physical phenomena. Mental phenomena is what is going inside mind. There are so many thought in philosophy. For example, John Locke, you talk about that whenever we are seeing something or any event, there is an image inside, because Locke says that mind is tabula rasa. So image forming, or in psychology, a lot of discussion on this, that how this image is built. So mental phenomena is this, and physical phenomena is what is there outside. That is a physical phenomena. But the task of Husserl is trying to understand this phenomena, and he in fact criticized this division of mental and physical phenomena, and he says that phenomena as such. So whenever we are experiencing something, we are having a phenomena, and we have to reflect, revisit, and try to understand that whatever given to senses. Why he's saying like this? Why he's diffusing or dismantling this division? Because he says that this problem is that when we make this bifurcation, especially in the sphere of knowledge of subject and object, because they subject and knowledge object are interface each other. Because you see, as I already in the beginning tell about that, all the concept or preconditions, for example, you see space, time, it is not outside. For example, let us take a Kant a priori things, or Kant says that so many things already in your mind, and you whatever raw data you are experiencing, you reshuffle. He says that it is just like you see how bread is formed in bakery. There is a content, some material content, and then we have some kind of frames, and through formation we are making a bread. So both are important, concept and percept, or whatever outside and whatever inside as a concept. So this very idea of interfacing this subjective element and objective element. Now the thing is that if you are interfacing this subjective and objective element, then how it is possible? Can we say it is a knowledge? So this is the task of in fact Husserl, that trying to involve some kind of subjective element and some kind of element, objective element, but after that reshuffling and constituting the knowledge. Now how he is doing this is another task that we are going to see. So first thing is that every act of consciousness or whatever we are experiencing, it is aboutness or something. So in that sense, we are not ignoring the very objective word or word of facticity, what we are saying. Outward is there and we are not ignoring. Some people think that we are ignoring and we are talking about only subjective thing or philosophical or abstract thing or talking of. Husserl is not saying like that. He is saying that we are always engaging with what is given to us. So I am trying to give here some more what we say that example, and trying to do something like that. For example, let us do some experiment so that without going in abstract, in concrete form, we are trying to understand. Let us try to see this example. For example, this is, what is this? This is a bottle. We all know that this is a bottle. No issue about that. But when we are perceiving this bottle, we are in a particular location, particular time and space, and everything is happening. You see, if you minutely observe, water is changing in the sense that something is going on in water, and I am not able to see what is that side, or from this side, or from that side. So we are having always a perspectival. So the thing is that experience is a perspectival. So what we say that, can we are leading towards some kind of relativism? Husserl say no. We are not leading a kind of relativism, because what is given to us is this very object, not that this perspective. In the formation of knowledge, what we are given to us, we are suppose seeing from this, then seeing from this and this. So, or suppose we are smelling or imagining or remembering, whatever we are doing, we are given to this very raw data. That what is Husserl says that primordial data is that very object. So this is very interesting thing, that we are not conscious about only this aspect or that aspect. We are given to us that whole data. Another example I will tell you. Suppose some friend is coming from other side, and you say, okay, this is it seems that he is, suppose his name is Mohan. He is Mohan. Now what you are doing? You are only concentrating on particular aspect of his personality. Suppose you are seeing his hairstyle, okay? You are seeing his height, or something is there. But at the same time, you are seeing that person as such. And you see, mind works, this is a psychological theory, that mind works in such a way that the things appear as such. So, in a different mode of consciousness, suppose you are remembering, you are imagining, so everything is going on simultaneously. So, and why we talk about that object as a primordial data, or as a precondition, that without that object no perspective is possible. So in that sense, Husserl says that he is not denying the objective status or existence, but he is saying this, in this process of knowing that object or any event, we see the different aspect, and then whatever, then we have to very aware of what is going on inside, what is going on consciousness, how it is structured, all these raw data. So the thing is that whatever you are experiencing, we are always, this is very true, that we are always experiencing through perspective, or our experience is perspectival. But at the same time, we know not only perspective, we know object as such. Another example I will give you, or another hint, that it is just, Husserl says that it is just like an intuition. You are perceiving, okay, this way, and all of a sudden says, yo, this is same Mohan, or this is same Ram, this is the same Sita, this is the same person. So this kind of intuition is a knowledge, what Husserl is calling. So how he is differentiating from experience to intuition or knowledge, that we are seeing things, okay, that's what empiricist says, that mind is a plain slate and we are experiencing. And so in sciences we are doing this inductive method, okay, seeing this, and then combining all such things and say that, okay, this is the bottle. I am seeing, okay, this is water. This is made up of this. Then I am seeing this, and when we say that, okay, I understand bottle. So here, Husserl says that our concern is not seeing just perspective things or experience these things. We are seeing things as given to our senses, and he is more interested in not that this particular bottle or that particular bottle as such, knowledge or cognition as such, what is given. So his task or transcendental phenomenology is that whether it is an event or it is objects or whatever we experience, as such we are trying to see every aspect, every shades, and then through imagination he is saying free free imagination or thought process, we come to know about the different sides, and then we all of a sudden says that now I understand. Now, so Husserl is saying that we understand the thing as such. Okay, so let us present another slide so that now it is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I say that different modes of consciousness, like of something, judgment of something, love, because when we are seeing the things, we involve so many things and we are not conscious about this. So many emotions, so many desires. Suppose you are going and you see something, some event, so many assumptions, but you are not conscious. And what Husserl is trying to say that whenever you are witnessing something, you have to be very conscious in both way, from objective way and from subjective way, because he's saying that through interface of subjective or objective, this is what he call intersubjective account, that we come to know the object or given data or given things. So now another which is very important concept in Husserl is a transcendental. So generally, we, especially in philosophy and other people, think that transcendent is some kind of otherworldly or some kind of metaphysical things. But in a Husserl sense, what he is trying to say, he is trying to say that transcending from your this very binaries, transcending from subjective things, for example, your emotion, your instinct, your so many assumptions, and transcending from this very emphasis on objectivity also. And what Husserl says that this is what this critique of objectivity is. He is saying that this is a natural attitude. What happened, especially in when we are seeing the things, we suppose, for example, I will give you just example that as so many emphasis on the science or objectivity, we are seeing things, suppose, at microscopic level. For example, if I say that, what is a green? This is a very beautiful story, especially Sartre, that some boy came to Sartre and asked that, what is this green? So Sartre says, Sartre is an existential philosopher, and he says, let us go and gaze the tree. This kind of gazing is what? He may have given for example, scientific theories that because of chloroplast, chlorophyll, this tree is green, or so many things. Now, because of so many, as I already explained, there's so many emphasis on objective side of the thing is that we generally have some kind of causal relationship and then explain the whatever object is. Husserl says that no, we should not give so much importance to this causal relationship, because if we are giving so many importance to this causal relationship, different theories, then what happened? We miss what is given to us. That is what the object is, because object is given to us. No need for theorizing and so many philosophizing, so many assumptions. Just see, observe it and gaze it and see the all sides, as I explained with the help of this bottle. You need not worry about what are the made of, what is the element. For example, if you go to scientists, they say that okay, because of chloroplast, chlorophyll, this is this atom molecules. You need not go to all such things because you want to know the bottle. Suppose if I say that okay, let us try to understand what is water, and somebody says that okay, H2O is water. So can meaning of water is limited to only H2O, or water is which quench my thirst, है ना? कोई अगर प्यासा है और वो कह रहा है मुझे वाटर दो पानी पीने के लिए, आप H2O की बात कर रहे हैं, तो बात बनेगी नहीं. उसको वाटर का पर्पस क्या है, उसका वाटर का इंटेंशन क्या है? So here what Husserl is talking about, that intentionality. The main essential feature of consciousness is what you are intended, what you are aware of, what you want, what you experience, your intention. Consciousness is always aboutness, as I say that conscious awareness is, or remembering is what? Remembering of something. Suppose recalling is what? Recalling is of something. Or perceiving is what? Perceiving of something. Experience is what? Of. This offness is very important. So earlier we think that consciousness is just like another entity, just like these material entity. Consciousness or subject is also entity. This is a, suppose I say generally in psychology and philosophy, just empirical ego. See, my historicity, my being, my I place. I am thinking myself as a something in space and time. But Husserl is not saying that. He transcend. Transcend in the sense that consciousness is fundamental principle, and its feature is intentionality, and it is not just like a entities. So another which is very important, at last I just want to share that some technical term for your understanding. Suppose you are experiencing something. So there is a raw data, because our five sense organs plus mind, we are experiencing something. So he says that raw data, and how this raw data translated into a kind of knowledge. So he introduced three terms. So first is what Husserl calls the Heil. This is a technical term, Heil. This is a raw data. What come to your experience, to senses. Then what happened? You are seeing as a perspective, dimension, different dimensions. As I have given an example of bottle, you are seeing from this side, that side, that side. So you are seeing different perspective. But after this different perspective, you come to see the what Husserl called the Neuma, objective dimension of consciousness. So these are different dimension of consciousness. One is a subjective, one is an objective. And this objective dimension is what? It is not my perspective, my way, but it is an intersubjective. Everyone, if they see from different angle and try to know this, then somehow we achieve this intersubjective account, whereby we say that this is a bottle. Now there is no any confusion. So Husserl says then there is no any confusion. So phenomenology basically focus on the essence or the meaning, and different mental act, different different intentions, we give meaning to particular object, because our purpose is what? Our purpose is ultimately to give a meaning to the object. Without meaning, there is no any sense of object. So whatever we are experiencing, witnessing, perceiving, describing, feeling, we have to give meaning to it. So through these mental processes, what the data, raw data comes, we try to understand. So here we cannot say that this is only a mental, because data is outside. So whatever we are seeing, we are witnessing, it comes from outside. So Husserl in his phenomenological method introduce a kind of reduction or bracketing. As we say that when we are seeing things, we are not, mind is not just blind, plain slate, just Locke says. So many prejudices, so many biases, so many presuppositions, so many assumptions, and we are ignoring what is given to us. Sometimes what happened, you see that we are so much engaged in our past experiences, past things, that we are not witnessing what is given. Especially if you see, I give you example in sociology, that when you are going to take a data, whether it is a quantitative or qualitative data, the researcher is having so much assumptions in his or her mind, and he never concentrate on what is going on, because mind is such a clever thing that he always trying to see his interest, trying to see its interest in the sense that all just you see, okay, if you suppose in our day-to-day life, if suppose you say that someone is like that, we are just giving our judgment. Okay, he is like that. Okay, oh, what you are talking about, this person is like that. So this kind of judgment, you are not even listening to other. You are not seeing different direction. In our day-to-day life, what happened? Oh, someone is a friend, suppose, and all of a sudden something happened, and you say that, okay, oh, he is not now my friend because he did so many things. Why you are doing? You are not concentrating on a whole as a friend, concept of friend. You are just seeing only one perspective, one side. So Husserl says that in a phenomenological reduction, this is the first principle in phenomenological method. We have to go beyond the natural attitude. Natural attitude, now let's try to understand once again. Natural attitude is that when we are seeing the things and give causal relationship. Okay, as I say that, let us try to understand water. All of a sudden someone comes and say that H2O is water, or some molecule is a water, or he is not seeing what is given to senses. Suppose river is flowing, or I am presenting a bottle. You are not seeing this bottle. You are just saying, oh, okay, this is, I know very well. So this kind of, positivist attitude, or this kind of so much emphasis on objectivism, you are not seeing what you are experiencing. You are just followed by your natural attitude. So at both level, objective side and subjective side also. So Husserl says that just suspend all your assumptions, belief, or whatever prejudices you are having. You just see what is given to you. Because reality is what is given to you as such, not particular perspective, but reality. You see, reality comes all of a sudden, just like a click, just like thunder in cloud, just a spark. Reality is just like that. You see so many things, and all of a sudden say, okay, this is this. So this kind of thing, Husserl trying to achieve that this is now. So he says that this bracketing is very important. All your assumptions, all your postulations, all your natural attitude, he is not saying that you ignore. You just bracket for the timing. Suppose I say that this is a bottle. You say, okay, it is a make of glass. Then you say, okay, this is a 7-inch or 8-inch or 12-inch long, and so many things. Okay, then set aside. Okay, for the timing, let us again experience all such things. And so what happened? You are not reducing. You are trying to see bottle as such. So he is saying that our concern is to understand this essence of bottle, not that particular bottle or that particular bottle, but the essence, the object as such. Because particular is perspectival. You are saying, okay, you say, okay, bottle is always made of this glass. So what about plastic bottle? What does this bottle is made of? Color is always a blue. Then what about a pink bottle or white bottle? So many color of bottle. Still we say that this is a bottle. So our emphasis is to understand this bottle. Or take any example. For example, this table. Our job is to understand this idea of table. So table is what? Table is a flat surface with 4 legs. Some table may not have a 4 legs, 5 legs, or 3 legs, or 2 legs even. So the idea is basically to understand this essence of that object or event, which is given to you as such. So he says that just bracket all these. So what happened after this? You are leading towards a pure kind of consciousness. What Husserl says that given to you. Or that is the knowledge, that is the cognition, because you are citing all kind of subjective element and objective, and what remains, that is a pure, just like a peeling of onion. You say that, okay, this is okay, just bracket it, again concentrate, just don't leave it, just bracket it side. Okay, this happened. Suppose you are going to use certain sociological category like caste, class, gender, so many things. You see, okay, that's all right. Let's just bracket it. So just this way you can use phenomenological method. Then what happened after phenomenological reduction? He talks about eidetic reduction. Eidetic reduction means that you concentrate on more, as I explained, that essence. You see, you from this angle you are seeing, then you see what is the essence of that angle, what is the essence. Then after seeing different variation, different shades, then you imagine, okay, this is the case, this is the case, and then you find the pure kind of knowledge or pure kind of knowledge. Here consciousness is synonyms with cognition, that pure knowledge. So this is not that we cannot say that this is my knowledge or my consciousness. This is consciousness as such. So then at last, this is very, complex or very, abstract or philosophical notion. He talks about transcendental reduction, whereby he is saying that all these preconditions, all these, in ego, so many things are going on. You have to, as you bracket all kind of in a objective knowledge, all kind of unnecessary things, in the same way you bracket inside your consciousness, then you witness what is Husserl says that transcendental ego or subjectivity. So phenomenology is all about the study of the self ultimately.
Pankaj, you are not audible. I'm trying to call him.